We're just 94 days away from the 2024 general elections. Hello and welcome to Joy News Prime. Our lead stories this hour. Majority Leader Alexander Felmarking accuses NDC of economic sabotage as the majority tried and failed another time to get through $350 million worth of tax waivers.
If we are serious about our country, we will stop these trivialities and move away from undue partisanship and look at the national interest.
From the 2 days emergency sitting of Parliament that has been described by the minority as a waste of time. Also, growing calls for President Akufo-Addo to declare a state of emergency on endangered water bodies and rivers under siege from illegal miners as Media Coalition Against Galamsey backs the Ghana Water Company's call of entrusting the fight in the hands of the military.
I believe strongly that if it becomes a national security issue, and Water Resources Commission, though it's a civilian department, but under the jurisdiction and supervision of the military.
A Majority Leader Alexander Felmarking is accusing the minority of economic sabotage. One more time, the majority side tried to push through $350 million worth of tax waivers, but were rebuffed by the minority side, who have been opposing them every step of the way. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante has been in the House for both days and has joined us via Zoom with more. Kweku, what programs did the Majority Leader cite as urgent, for which reason Parliament was recalled, and which ones were admitted by the Speaker?
Well, Briggs, the majority did cite the $250 million loans. There were two of them. The first one that was rejected in July by the minority for the Energy Sector Recovery Program. The majority wanted a rescission motion so that they can rescind that decision and pass it. There was another $250 million loan that the majority were seeking to get that specifically had to do with the International Development Association of the World Bank to deal with the Ghana Financial Stability Fund, as well as the tax waivers worth about $350 million and then about 10 bills. These were the businesses that they outlined to do. The Speaker of Parliament did admit only the first three. That is the two loan applications and then the tax waivers. Invariably, the House has been only able to do one of all that business. The House sat for 2 days, a total of close to 20 hours on both days, and they were able only to transact on that $250 million that was rejected in July. The majority that did move a motion for rescission. It was accepted, and ultimately the House voted to approve that loan. No other business was done except also some posting on Electrocom and other businesses. But all that were not the key businesses that the Speaker of Parliament admitted. The majority leader has since then been accusing the majority side of economic sabotage. But first, listen to Dr. Keselato on why his side is still opposed to the number of tax waivers that the government is seeking to grant.
Evidently clear from the business we have transacted so far in this House. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that there was no way the business we've done so far should have warranted such a recall. Right, Honorable Speaker, as we speak, our country's democracy is at a crossroads, and it's important that the Electoral Commission takes steps to ensure that they will conduct a free, fair, credible, transparent elections. Mr. Speaker, we were recalled to tackle tax exemptions and loans. Right, Honorable Speaker, one of it has been approved. Mr. Speaker, our concern still remains with the tax exemptions. We strongly believe that these giveaways should be curtailed. We strongly believe that these giveaways of tax exemptions is unwarranted, Mr. Speaker, and we believe that at the time that the country is bleeding, Ghana should not be giving such giveaways to crony businesses. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, persistently, this government intends to give away a lot more tax exemptions. But right, Honorable Speaker, once again, the people of Ghana should bear in mind that the NDC minority stands for them. And we will do what is right. We'll do the law's work and ensure that the right thing is done to protect the public purse.
So, Kwegu, which of them were done for the 2 days that the MPs were recalled?
Well, only the $250 million receiving motion that was moved by the majority leader that led to the House now approving that energy sector recovery program with $250 million. But no other business was done. Particularly the tax waivers that you can hear the minority that go forcefully on in saying that it appears that the government wants to give out tax waivers to its cronies. We've been hearing now from the majority leader who says the NDC is trying to sabotage the economy.
If we are serious about our country, we will stop these trivialities and move away from undue partisanship and look at the national interest. Mr. Speaker, it is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. We are destroying businesses. And if we think that by destroying these businesses, we will come back to power, we will come to power to have a fresh start and reset, I am sorry. You are destroying your very eggs. Mr. Speaker, I think that we can do better than this as parliamentarians. We can do better than this as a political class. We can do better than this as people who have been elected to lead our people. Mr. Speaker, we should have our disagreements, but to destroy the business life of people who have entrusted their businesses into our economy, who believe in the policies and say that we are not going to pass. When the Committee of Parliament has done its work and the Committee of Parliament has recommended to the plenary, and plenary says by certain operations of politics we are not going to take them, and even in the closing remarks of the minority leader, he still finds face to do politics with it. Mr. Speaker, I'm not an economist. I did law. And if this is coming from an economist and a tax expert, it is very rich, extremely rich.
Now, some members of parliament have suggested a retreat on the controversial road traffic amendment regulation, which sought to allow MPs, ministers, and a host of other public officers use sirens and drive without speed limit. Following severe public backlash, the LI was withdrawn. But today in Parliament, the LI was relayed, this time without the proposal to allow MPs, the Speaker of Parliament, the Chief Justice and others to use sirens and drive without speed limit. But Tamale South MP and former Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu wants the Speaker to be allowed at least to use a motorcade and use sirens.
You can keep ministers and members of Parliament out, but this republic has three important personalities: the President, the Vice President, the Speaker, and the Chief Justice. Four important personalities. And Mr. Speaker, it is not for this House to sit for a minister. Yes, MPs. There will even be times that, Mr. Speaker, leadership is here. When you have to take a major vote, you are looking for a member who is still in his constituency in Kaswa. You want his vote here because you want him to exercise a mandate. That is not abuse of a motorcade or a police siren. So, Mr. Speaker, mine was to arrest the laying of this instrument if I had my way, because the Speaker, the Lady Chief Justice, the Chief Justice of Ghana, cannot be left out of this privilege or entitlement of having a police accompany them. What we need to guard against, which is what the public is saying, that the ministers, you are not doing the roads properly, there is congestion on the roads, and you want a free road to ride. That is what the public detests. But, Mr. Speaker, take the office of the Speaker. And colleagues, when you talk of an ordinary day, talk of an extraordinary day. Assuming there is crisis in Ghana, the Speaker has to be looked for.
Leader Alexander Felmarking is not only demanding that a Speaker is reinstated in the LI, but all MPs to be allowed to use sirens and drive without speed limit. Now, the Speaker, who had also earlier apologized formally to the public and also seemed to be beating a retreat, accusing MPs of being weak.
I agree with members that we press the self-destruct button. this house. And because of the weakness of this house, the democracy in Ghana is very weak. Today, when you are talking about mature democracy, spineless parliament, spineless leadership matters. You must be prepared to take responsibility and defend your positions. If the people knew like you, they wouldn't have elected you to lead them. Then you allow yourselves to reduce to nothingness because you are afraid of responsibilities. I am not. Members, the public, and other persons are not denied the facility of a motorcade. It's available to be used. If it becomes necessary, you ask for it. But what they are talking about is to allow members to have in their vehicles those facilities for them to use so motu. And sometimes in your constituencies, you are going to your girlfriend's house and you are using motorcade.
There is a strong push for President Akufo-Addo to declare a state of emergency on endangered water bodies and rivers under siege from illegal mining activities. Now, the Ghana Water Company Limited had earlier issued a warning of stopping production due to significant disruption by illegal mining activities and attacks on its staff by perpetrators. The situation is already dire, with water generation already dropped from 70 to 40% nationwide. Residents in these communities are in a state of despair following the damage done to their livelihoods.
What you see are as a result of the Galamsey activities that are done upstream. All the silt are washed down here. They have destroyed our livelihoods. This has left us struggling in this town. Our fishing business has gone down. All we can boast of now is empty nets.
Apologies for that break. Now, the Land and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abojinapo has served notice of a major crackdown on Galamsey hotspot following disruption in water supply in the Ashanti and
we are going to have the review today, and I'm 1,000% certain, and I can give you the firm assurance that we're going to ramp up our enforcement measures. So all these places you are talking about, we're going to have a cleanup there. We're going to have a complete soup. We're going to send law enforcement agencies to take a soup of that whole stretch, and not just there, so many other places, particularly the central region. We're going to do that. You can be rest assured of that, and you can monitor that. As I say, Operation Halt has never been a continuous operation. It's always been a surgical one. And whenever we find that there's a particular place where there's a rise in illegal mining, or there's a rise in activities and PDT and the rest, we move them in. We're going to conduct the review today, and within the next 24 hours, we're going to find the resources and move them.
But Managing Director of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Clifford Brimer, wants government to entrust the military with the responsibility of protecting the endangered water bodies.
Think that, like other countries do, water bodies are national security issues. They are national security zones. If Water Resources Commission do working in it, they are civilians, but it's under the Ministry of Defense. And let's test the resilience of our military and see whether that problem will not be resolved. As at now, yes, once in a while we bring them in to go on, but that's a flash, it goes off. But if you make it their responsibility, and they cannot stop our water bodies to be polluted, how can they guarantee citizens that when there is an invasion of foreign forces, they will be able to stop them? And I believe strongly that if it becomes a national security issue, and Water Resources Commission, though it's a civilian department, but under the jurisdiction and supervision of the military, or national security. I'm sure this thing will give me 100 days. I'm sure it will be, because they will be marked by the quality of water. And I know the men. I know what they can do.
Well, convener for the Media Coalition Against Galamsey, Dr. Ken Ashigbe, says it's time for the president to act and stamp out the menace.
You wonder where we went to sleep, that now by the side of the road, when on the Accra-Kumasi road, you can see the Galamsey actually happening. You wonder where we want to sleep, where now on the, if you go onto all our major water bodies, there are some funds that are sitting on the water body. What has happened to our, the drones that we got? You know what now the most of these illegal miners do? When they get into these forest reserves, they actually jam the area so that you can't even fly a drone into the space. Yesterday, I was with Evans. The Water Research Institute, they are not even able to, Water Research Commission, they are not even able to send their people to go and take samples to measure. So, you see, Galamsey is a national crisis, but has local, solutions. So by now, we should be asking of the DCs, the MCs, the police commanders in these communities, what it is that they are doing. But the Media Coalition, we are regrouping again, and we're grateful for multimedia especially that has kept this particular fight going on and up to this particular point. But we are reorganizing, and we're happy that generally now all the media are focusing on this particular issue and raising it up. Next week, we're hoping to have a press conference. Okay. Now we don't want to get other people standing behind us and the media at the forefront. We're going to be calling on labor. We're going to be calling on our chiefs. We're going to be calling on the churches. We all need to come to the front and tell the president that currently the current president is the one in charge. We need to deal with the issues of our water bodies. So our proposal is that a state of emergency be declared on the water bodies and then the buffers that are concerned.
Well, let's go on Zoom now and speak to our correspondent to gauge the extent of destruction by illegal miners across the country. Now, let me start with Kofi Sian. Kofi Sian is in the eastern region. Now, Kofi, we understand that the region is also grappling with illegal mining. What can you report?
Well, in the eastern region, I must say that the situation is very, very bad. We are in a very sorry situation. When you travel along the Accra-Kumasi highway, you could easily see them openly mining along the road, along that highway, and it's a public concern. I'll be surprised that anybody at all will come out to deny the fact that illegal mining is openly taking place along the Kumasi highway. When you move from a town like in Sutem right to Osino, then Asamantampoi and Enyinem, one could easily see that the illegal miners are doing that with impunity. And residents are really surprised that the security agencies have not been able to, apprehend the situation. Recently, when we were on a tour with the national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, to a place like Achim Techiman, just after Akwetia, you could easily see illegal miners sitting on the Brim River with champagne machines, destroying the Brim River. And I must also add that for the Brim River, we have virtually lost it, and we are only on the verge of also losing the Densu River as well. So it's a concern.
Okay. Kofi, I'm grateful. From the eastern region, let me take you to the western region to understand how the situation is also like there. Ina Talia Konsa is our correspondent in the region. Ina, paint a picture of what you have found with regards to the extent of destruction of water bodies you've seen.
Yes, Kojo. So when you come to the western region, our major river bodies have been destroyed by the activities of illegal mining. You can barely get a clear water. I mean, water is supposed to be, clean and all that. But when you walk around the region, you go to the various metropolitan municipal assemblies, everywhere you go, like Dan Cobra, the Tano, you can mention it, they are all now milky brown. You can hardly do anything with it. Community members are in a dire situation. It has become difficult to, rely on water to do anything in the Western region. When you go to the various hospitals, they tell you that the occurrence of water-related disease in the various hospitals keeps on increasing because of the activities of illegal mining. I mean, before it was somehow like the illegal miners were shying away from people seeing it, but Kojo, it's now like they are so bold, they are confident that when you can see them morning, afternoon, evening. Before they would say that they are going for operation at night, but in the morning you go and they are doing it. The Western region, the fate of rivers in the Western region is very bad. And I, as a journalist in this region, strongly believe that in some years to come, we have to import water from somewhere before people of the region can enjoy potable water.
Quite a sad picture there in the Western region. Let's see what the state will do to deal with this particular canker. Away from that, the Ghana West Municipal Assembly is announcing new efforts to rehabilitate the dilapidated road leading to the Ajin Kotoku Onion Market in the Greater Accra region. A Joy News report exposed the poor condition of the road, which onion sellers say is hurting their businesses. In response, Ghana West Municipal Chief Executive Clement Wilkinson says urgent steps are being taken to address the issue. We'll hear from him soon, but first, let's head to the market to hear from the affected onion sellers.
The onion market here at Ajin Kotoku is a lively hive of activity as trucks unload sackloads of onions to be distributed to intermediaries, wholesalers and retailers. But in the midst of the hustle and the bustle, stories unfold. First, I spoke with Alhaji Masawudu, the chairman of the Onion Sellers Association at Ajin Kotoku. He expressed that while the new location is manageable, there are 3 critical challenges hindering their progress here.
Because of the nature of everything, we have sanitation problem, we have bad road, and then the patronage. That's the 3 main issue. I mean, when we are talking about the road, it's a big problem, it's a big issue. We have from the main road, they are doing the road. And if you reach mid-year, from mid-year to Ajin Kotoku, that's the worst problem. And if you reach from 3 Junction to Ajin Kotoku, that's the worst problem. And then right now, all the trucks pass through mid-year to this place. Some of the truck got spoiled through the mid-year road to Ajin Kotoku. We often go and find a towing car from police. Yeah, to tow this truck to here.
Indeed, it seems the onion sellers are the only group to fully settle in the promised land of Ajin Kotoku. But what about the others? The tomato and yam sellers who were also supposed to relocate. Why haven't they followed suit?
If you see challenges, baby, Lord, for now, Costro, Niamanusu, every day no more to so. Baby, I do say, Sunyamana Dada, Upto, Korea, Poto, Ubetonsu, and Rusikano. And Kaswadi and Nea had in a boom.
I think the market at Agbobushi was far better than here because it was a more centralized place for onions. That means more trucks, more onions at relatively lower prices.
But reacting to this, the MC Clement Wilkinson says the challenge would be resolved soon.
It has been given to a contractor, and the contractor have done a lot within the township, which Ajin Kotoku, the people of Ajin Kotoku is aware of what the contractor is doing. But the main road has to be asphalt road. So we are trying to do something like a 2-lane, a two here. So that is the design that we are asking them to do now as we speak. But because with immediate action that people are in need of that road, we have asked the contractor to do the single lane that has been given to him. And the vice president was there last week. He said it to the people of
Ajin Kotoku because there is a children's hospital which has been built and it was there for inspection. And very soon they will finish. So he asked myself and the regional minister to speed up on that Ajin Kotoku road. So we have promised Ajin Kotoku, people of Ajin Kotoku, not only the onion market people, but people of Ajin Kotoku, that very soon, they will see a contractor on that road.
How soon will be soon if you say they will see a contractor on the road?
If I say soon, at least by end of this month, they will see a contractor on the road because we will have to do a proper procurement arrangement before the contractor can come on the road.
Before the contractor comes to the road, what interventions are you putting in place to ensure that in the interim, people of the market are able to use the road freely?
Okay, you see, when you are going to Ajin Kotoku, we don't have only that road. We have another road from Pre-Ganshin to the road to Koduashon. And when you get to Kekeman, there is another right turn. And that road is very much trouble somehow than the main Ajin Kotoku road. But why am I saying this? Some people doesn't know that there is a road there. But for the meantime, those who are applying from Pre-Ganshin to Ajin Kotoku, the only advice I'll give now, because the contractor is coming on, it's not a full road that we can just go there and reshape the road. It's a bit more somehow. And that one, the contractors know how they do about it. They go about it. So I will plead with everybody that they should be extra patient for us. By the ending of this month, they will see a contractor on the road. So they should take their time when they are driving, speeding, and hitting the potholes will not help us. They should take their time.
Now, away from that, the Ghana Education Service has instituted a 2-week investigation into circumstances leading to the stabbing and killing of an 18-year-old final-year student of the O'Reilly Senior High School here in Accra. The deceased, Edward Bokete Saki, was alleged to have been involved in an argument and scuffle with a fellow student who allegedly stabbed him multiple times on the chest. According to report, he was rushed to the Lekma Hospital where he was reported dead. Now, Director General of the Ghana Education Service today led a delegation to commensurate with the family, assuring that the matter will be dealt with. The GES has just released a statement talking about that. And the General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, Thomas Musa, joins us via Zoom with more. Grateful to you for joining. Now, first, have you had any briefing from your colleagues on what the matter has been and what exactly happened?
Yeah, so thank you very much, my brother. Good evening to yourself and to all your viewers and listeners. And in fact, we need to first and foremost establish and wish the family and express our condolences to them. This should be the last thing that a parent or the worst news that a parent can expect to hear from a school when his or her daughter, his or her son has gone to school to learn, only for you to hear that your son has passed on. I think it is one of the saddest news that any parent can hear. So let us stand on this particular protocol to establish and wish the family and express our deepest condolences to them. Having said that, I think it's important to also place on record that when we were in school, the highest punishment or the highest offense you will hear that a student has committed is either coming to school late or chewing a chewing gum and pasting it on either the desk or the chair, or talking in class for his name to be written down. The way we have the names of talkatives. These are kind of offenses that we normally hear. And normally on the garden day, the school garden day, everybody is asked to bring
But Thomas, I wanted to find out from you whether you've had briefing from your colleagues as to what exactly happened.
Yes, I have had the plenary briefing, but it is not yet conclusive because I need to have a thorough investigation on what has happened because all the parties must be heard.
Okay.
But the initial briefing, it is not something that we can stand on it to make any conclusive and judgmental statement.
Okay.
There is a need that we take our time to hear the other parties also involved.
Okay.
Yes, so
all right.
on your question, I have received initial briefing, but I want to establish, go further to explain. We need to know what happened some time ago. That is why I was going.
Okay.
And so, like I've indicated, when we were in school, the highest offense you will hear that the student has committed is number one, coming to school late. Number two, talking in class where your name will be written down. They say names of talkatives. Or you go and chew a gun and then you paste it on either the desk or chair or anywhere, and then you'll be identified. Or you'll be asked to bring broom to school. You have not brought it. These were the things we were dealing with. But today, it is not something that we contemplated, and it will never ever happen that a student was going to school and a student was carrying a weapon on him or her.
Yeah.
But today, this is where we are. This is where we are. Look, let me tell you something. The confidence level of the students now, they are like the people who are engaging in Galamsey. They are so confident now, so bold, to the extent that what they are doing, they know that it is not good.
But what is the cause?
It is because we are all involved. Because now parents can go to the school and beat the parents and beat the teachers. Some parents go to the school, beat the teachers. The students themselves, look, the things that the students cannot tell their parents at home, they tell the teachers at school. You, the teacher, when you want to react, the question, if you don't take time and something happens, they will be told that the children's act, the best interest of the rather be at the wrong ends of the law, or you'll be at fault with the law. And so where we are now, when students go to school, we don't only train their head, which we call the cognitive, we also deal with affective. That deals with the aspect of their emotions, the loyalty aspect of it. But we've lost that side. The moral upbringing of students today is something that is very difficult to handle at the school level. And like I am saying, their confidence level is like those engaging in Galamsey. They think they are unassailable, unchallenged. I mean, they are on their own now. They are on their own level.
What must therefore change about their training?
What we can do now is that in all the olden days, when a student commits an offense, the parent is so bold that the parent will take the student to the teacher for the teacher to take care of him. It is not so. We need to ask ourselves, why are we here today? It means that we have adopted certain protocols that are alien to our very culture.
Okay.
So our recommendation is that the parents, the teachers, the GES together with the government, there should be a stakeholder meeting for us to discuss this thing, so that we nip this, we can put this thing to an end.
Okay.
Otherwise, one day we will be there, and our students will not only attack us, they will come to now head to the communities, and what will happen there, we will not like it.
Okay.
So this is a sign for us to be cautious and see what we can do to correct these things going to the future.
Okay. So what you're saying is that teachers should not be blamed for negligence, for what happened?
No, we cannot be held responsible. I have told you that the confidence level of the students nowadays is like those of the engaging Galamsey. They know that it is not good, but nobody can challenge it.
All right. Okay. I'm grateful to you,
Thank
Thomas
you
Musa, for joining. He is General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. This is still the Joy News Prime. We'll take a break here. We'll be back. Please do stay.